Hello, it's YoonKyung. After living in the Netherlands for 9 years, one of the things I feel most grateful for is being able to live close to nature. Especially these days as summer is slowly arriving here, even a simple walk outside feels really beautiful. I'm just really grateful that I have this nature near around me that I can just walk out and watch it and listen and feel the light and wind. Whenever I walk in nature, even just through a small patch of it, I feel deeply moved. But that doesn't always seem to be the case for my Dutch friends. Maybe I can appreciate it more because I come from a very different place. I was born and raised in Korea, and my everyday environment was never this close to wide green fields, big trees, or the sound of different birds. Instead, I was more used to cars, tall buildings, and the constant noise of the city. Of course, Korea has a lot of nature too, but the nature there is mostly in the form of mountains, which is not always something you live right next to in everyday life. So in the Netherlands, the fact that I can live in a city and still being able to reach a nature area like this sometimes blows my mind. So maybe because of my opposite background, these ordinary walks feels very special to me, so I try to enjoy them every day. Today I'm doing master study again from Claude Monet, Springtime from 1872. At the sketching stage, I try to focus more on distinguishing different colors and tones rather than getting caught up in tiny details. The details will be covered by the first layer of color anyways, so what matters more at this stage is understanding which colors go where. Including both digital and real oil painting studies, I think I've studied about 20 of his works so far. I really enjoy studying his paintings because of the way he depicted nature through color. And every time I study his work, I'm amazed by how he used so many different colors yet made them feel so harmonious within one painting. And I have to say, lately, how I see nature became different. When I take a walk in nature, I started to see the color that he used in his painting in real life too. When I first experienced that, it was so awesome. I was like, I'm becoming to have Monet's eyes. But to realize this, you kinda have to stay still and gaze the space like a zombie. Because if you don't take your time to observe, then at a glance, it can all look like the same green. But if you wait a bit and take a close look, then you'll be able to see that it's not just one green color. If you look at it, like this one has more yellow, and this part has more blue, and this part again more yellow and brownish, and a bit more white here. Here again there's more yellow here, and that part has more bluish. And this one is obviously having more white. There is so much color in nature. This beauty of diversity in nature doesn't only come from colors but also from sounds. During my short walk after lunch, I saw a bird sitting on a branch right next to me. It was singing. The sound was so beautiful that I just stood there for a while listening. It made me feel so uplifted somehow. At first I thought it was just that one bird's voice that sounded really beautiful, but then I realized that it sounded even more beautiful because there were other birds singing far away in the background. If I had only heard that one bird singing the same sound and rhythm over and over again, I might have started hearing as noise. But because there were other birds with different tones and rhythms supporting it in the background, all those sounds came together so beautifully, almost like an orchestra. I realized that there is so much diversity in nature and that all these different things coexist as they are. Maybe that is what makes nature so beautiful. Actually, this reminded me of a YouTube clip I watched recently by Lee, a Korean singer-songwriter. He is one of my favorite artists in the music industry. I really enjoy his songs and performances. The clip I watched was one of his live performances. In the clip, you could see that the background dancers and chorus singers all had different body type. Some were rather short and slim, while others were taller and fuller figured. They were all on the same stage together. And in the comments, many people said that they felt comforted just by seeing that. Reading those comments, I realized how long we've been used to seeing only one type of body and one type of beauty standard in the media. And how just showing diversity without explanation or justification can feel such a relief to people. If you think about it, nature doesn't explain its diversity either. The birds don't justify why they sound different. The grass doesn't apologize for not being one single shade of green. They're just all there, together as they are. And maybe that's what makes nature so beautiful. Lately, I've been reaching a point in my life where I'm becoming more accepting of who I am. Learning to notice how things works for me, even if that means I'm different from what's expected. I don't really mind anymore. I just want to be happy. And for that, I think I need to let myself just be who I am. In this era where there's always contents to watch, always an ideal to chase, always someone telling you who you should be, I think it's so easy to lose your own voice and your own color. For me, these walks in nature helps me to be reminded that everyone is different and that's okay. Seeing all this diversity in nature just existing without apology, it is somehow very comforting and relaxing. I can really appreciate all these different flowers, trees, and birds, each with their own colors and shapes and sounds. And I hope I can remember this when I feel a little annoyed by people who are different from me. Because others are different, I can also be different. And maybe that is how each of us becomes more clearly ourselves. Without knowing what is different than who I am, I don't think I can never really know who I am.